fellow Star Wars nerds, and welcome to Unlimited Content, the podcast where two brothers talk about all of Star Wars film and TV in chronological order on the internet as an excuse to hang out more. We're your hosts, Sam and Jack, and this week we're talking about the Clone Wars again, Season 5 again, Episodes 4 and 5, again? The Soft War and Tipping Points. Not again. No, 4 and 5, that's new.
Oh, these are new. Okay, cool.
New episode, same season, same show.
Yes.
Yeah, we're moving on to the next thing. Where it's some of the same, but it's a little different.
Oh, okay.
That's how we do it.
Oh, got it. Sweet. Cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Jack.
So, nice. How's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Good. Yeah. Feeling a little tired.
Yeah.
Like, I've been getting good sleep the last couple days, which is good.
It is good.
But I'm also just, I don't know. State of the world is a little tiring at the moment. But luckily, I don't know what this has to do with our sponsor, but we have a sponsor.
Is the sponsor gonna help make the world feel a little brighter?
Sure.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, it's a good sponsor.
Oh, okay.
It's great. I just couldn't come up with a clever transition.
All of our sponsors
this time.
are good. We don't have bad sponsors, Jack. All of our sponsors are good. Anyway, who's our sponsor?
Credits will do fine. This week's episode of Limited Content is brought to you by Free Furniture.
Free furniture? Shoot, yes. Dang. Did you get free furniture?
I have in the past, not recently.
Oh, okay.
It's just something I was thinking about. So for example, when I love finding free furniture that's like, sometimes it's like, you see it on Facebook, or sometimes it's like somebody just leaves that out in front of their, like on their lawn in front of their door with a free sign on it. It's like, oh, I could use that. So like, the lamp in my living room, like that floor lamp, I got that for free. I got the shelf that I use for my DVDs and whatnot. That was left out like at the end of, I think, my at the end of like my second to last year of college.
Dude,
just, like,
dorm move out day, gold mine.
It's a gold mine for free furniture. Yes. Yeah. I think I told you about this one. This chair here.
That's a good looking chair.
It's a good chair. It's like a nice wooden chair with a rounded back.
Yeah. Is that bamboo? Kind of looks like bamboo.
It's not, but it has that vibe. But no, it's just like a regular chair.
Okay.
That was literally, that had a free sign on it next door to me at my apartment. And I was like, oh, this looks nice. And I got it in, and it was like right after I got the guitar, and I was like thinking, I need a good chair for practicing guitar in.
And you need chairs without
my big.
Yeah.
Yes.
Chair without armrests is great for guitar. Chair with armrests, not great for guitar. Well done.
True.
You got a guitar chair now.
Yes. So that's been good. It's a very comfy chair.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Dude, Sarah and I we found some stuff, some free furniture. Yeah. The thing I think we're most proud of for free, two things, both in the same neighborhood, are Sarah's parents, my in-laws' neighborhood. It's a nice neighborhood, and rich people put out things that they shouldn't be putting out on the curb. They're just like, I don't have room for it. I don't want to take it. I don't want to donate it. I'm just going to put it on the curb and someone's going to grab it. We found two basically new. They just had a couple stains on it. IKEA armchairs, like wingback armchairs, like matching ones. And so we just got covers from IKEA. They're like made for it, and they're just basically brand new.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
We also got like this big old like wooden, like, Sarah would know what like the name of it is, but it's like a certain style. It's like a colonial kind of style chair. Okay. Like it's like a big old bench, wooden bench. Okay. It's got like the thin kind of like dowel rod back with like a big old curved piece of wood at the top, kind of thing.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
I'm gonna talk to Sarah and ask her what that is, but I don't know what it's called. Yeah, what's the terms? I don't know, but it's very nice. But we don't have room for it at our house, so it's at her parents' house right now in their entryway. Yeah, gotcha. And it's their entryway bench now until we get a bigger house, because we don't have room. But free furniture. Thank you for sponsoring us. We appreciate you.
Yes, thank you for sponsoring this episode. I got a free recliner for mom and dad earlier this year, because they were like, they wanted to get rid of the two recliners that they've had for a while to replace it with like a couch. Yeah. And I was like, and they were like, does anybody want these? I was like, does it fit into Scion? Can you like get it down here? Yes. And it turns out they could. And then now I have a really nice recliner, and that's what I do all my watching of Clone Wars in, and most of my playing of video games in, and it's good. And it's free.
Was
So
a
yeah,
good chair,
thank you,
too.
Mom and Dad, and also our
Was that
sponsor.
big brown leather one? Is that what it was?
Yes. Yeah.
Those are nice.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
nice. It's very good.
Yep.
Love a good piece of furniture that's free because
yeah.
new furniture is so expensive.
It is.
It's like it's nuts,
dude. I work for the Postal Service now. I do that now, and I'm driving around neighborhoods all the time. And a lot of the neighborhoods I'm driving around are similar to where my in-laws live, which are just nice neighborhoods. There's always stuff out on the curb, and I have this big old like delivery van with room in the back if I wanted to put it. Then I remember I don't have room in my actual car, so I could get this at the post office, but I couldn't get it to my house. And I live far away from the post office in a different state, so
it is technically a different state, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I do cross state line every day. It's weird whenever I'm delivering like on like in like neighborhoods that are like on state line. Like state line's a road that just kind of like just goes north south between like between like South Kansas City and Johnson County, Kansas. And yeah, there are times where like I'll take a bathroom break in a different state than I'm working in because the Quick Trip is a cross state line road, like literally just across the street.
That's silly.
And I always feel weird.
That's
I'm like,
great.
am I supposed to be taking this vehicle across state lines? I don't know if I'm supposed to, but there's a Quick Trip. I can see Kansas from the front door of the Quick Trip, but I'm in Missouri.
You could throw a rock.
I could.
Yeah.
I really could. Yeah.
That's excellent. It's very
it's such a wild
very
experience.
different from like I mean I feel like there are some places in the world where like if you're in like New England or like up in the northeast here in the US, there's states are much smaller, so like the idea of crossing state lines is not a notable thing. But for us who grew up in Texas, where from one end to the other is like 9 hours, it's
so far.
It's like, whoa, this is an event crossing a state line.
Yeah, it is, and I'm still not used to it. I've been here for like 7 years now in Kansas City, and I'm still not used to the fact that like there's 2 states and it's 1 city.
Dang.
Yeah.
2 states, 1 city.
2 worlds,
0
1 family.
To guide these lives we see. This episode also sponsored by Phil Collins.
I was about to say that, but you beat me to it.
We're both so clever, Sam.
Indeed.
What's been going on, Sam? Has anything happened in the last, I don't know, since we recorded the last episode?
We did record last
Anything
week.
You wanted to chat about?
The Empire won, which sucks.
Yeah.
The election was
happened.
this week, and Donald Trump got reelected, and we're not happy about it.
No, it's very disappointing and scary. So,
it's like not. It's like surprising, but not surprising. I don't know. It's just like I thought better of us. I shouldn't have, but I did. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I think what honestly, what kind of twists the knife a little bit for me is the fact that he won the popular vote, which means he actually won.
He won every swing state.
It's incredible. Like because I don't know, I felt like, again, this just goes to show that vibes tell us nothing.
Indeed.
But the vibe that I felt going into this was like, Kamala's gonna win. We're gonna have our first female president, and it's gonna be super cool, and things aren't gonna be as terrible as they were before, because the alternative just sort of seemed unthinkable based on all the things that we know about the last administration and the things we know about what they want to do this time. And I was like, so I think part of me was just kind of like, that's too bad of a thing to actually happen. And then also part of me was like, actually hopeful, feeling like, no, there's like a lot of momentum behind this, like, because when Biden was still running, and I was like,
oh god,
I was like, oh
so
yeah, no,
bad.
this is, we're maybe hopeless. And then he dropped out and Kamala got in, and there was like all this momentum behind her, and I was like, okay, maybe this will be good. So I like felt optimistic going into it, and like literally like the morning of the election, me and my friends were talking, we're like, we're feeling good about this, and like, all the polls that are coming out, the most recent polls have all said that like she's ahead in a lot of the swing states. And, and we were talking about, oh, maybe she might, like, maybe she's gonna turn Texas blue, and, like, you know, and no, none of that happened.
No,
none of that happened.
No.
And also Ted Cruz is still our senator, which you know, is icing on the cake here in Texas.
I think we still have Josh Hawley, which sucks.
Oh, you have, oh, cool. You've also got,
we have our own Ted Cruz.
Fascist asshole.
We have our own Ted Cruz.
Cool.
Yeah, I think. Wait, did Lucas Kuntz win? It'd be nice if he did. I don't think he did. I feel like I would have heard about it. But if Josh Hawley, I'm looking it up.
Sure. This isn't going as planned.
Nothing to see here. He won re-election in 2024, but
cool.
Lucas Kuntz was so cool because he was like a Marine, but also like a left-wing Democrat. Mm-hmm. So it's like, this is kind of the best of, like, this is Missouri's best hope at, but it's Missouri. We're Midwestern Florida. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like Midwestern Florida.
That's what we are.
It took me a second. That's great. That's great and terrible, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I think what kind of like, yeah. So like, what hurts? I mean, the whole thing hurts, but like, what hurts like the most in a way is, like I said, is that the fact that like he won the popular vote. So it's literally like something like 7 million more people voted for him than for Kamala, which means that, you know, that many people, however many people voted for Donald Trump, like, you know, it's just baffling to me. Like, I know, you know, we can talk about how, like, you know, people are in their own information and media bubbles, and you only, you know, especially like, you know, if you're in the conservative space, then you're only going to hear conservative viewpoints. But like, I don't know, it's just like, how can, like, what it came down to me, like, thinking about the other day was just like, are we ever gonna like win another election for somebody good or not actively evil? Are we ever gonna get something better? And my feeling was like we had all the like the actual facts on our side. We had, you know, empathy on our side. We had excitement, and yet we still lost. And it's like, how do you just, like, it comes down to the fact that people don't care about other people.
Yeah. Well, also, it doesn't help that the Democrats suck at running. Like.
No, yeah. Like
the there's like. You would think that it would be like a slam dunk to run somebody against somebody as like poopy as Big Orange Man, but I don't know how how the Democrats keep fumbling so hard. Like, yeah, it's disappointing. I'm like, you guys could run anybody else. Like you could do, like, you have so many options. You could, like, just, I don't know. We just need to, like, just do FDR again. That was amazing. Just do that. But, like, no, we gotta, like, I don't know. Like, oh, the right keeps winning, so maybe we should, like, be more right. And that might work. Yeah, because that's what they keep doing. I'm like, no, go to the left, please, please.
We've got. I think that's the frustrating thing, is that, like, because it's such a big organization with so much stakes, I think people just feel the need to like play it safe as much as possible. And so what we get is a bunch of like centrist Democrats and no real leftists in any real political positions. And like, I mean, there were a few silver linings this year, like the first ever transgender person in Congress, the first out trans person. That's cool. But yeah, just like when it comes down to it, it's like, you can blame the Democrats all you want and you know, talk about their strategy, which is true, that, you know,
well, I do blame the Democrats. They could do so much better. They're so bad at their jobs.
Yeah, but like, I just think that it's also just down to, like, what strikes me is the culture of it, and the fact that we don't like people don't. It feels like a fight between people who care about the well-being of people that aren't themselves and people who don't. you know. And I not to oversimplify it, you know, but like, because obviously it's not that way for everybody, but at a certain point, when you look at all the things that Donald Trump and his administration and his ilk have done, and people still vote for him, then it's clearly like people are voting for him knowing who he was. We had him for 4 years already, and then he left for 4 years, and we had somebody else, and then people still looked at him and said, yeah, we would rather have him. Like, that's the frustrating part for me. That's the scary part, is that we just don't have people who we have a culture of people who are very self-centered, which is like, I don't know, very like when I say that out loud, it sounds kind of like kind of holier than thou, or like, and I don't want to, you know, act like, you know, all Republicans are bad, all Democrats are good. I don't feel that way, but yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling. It's just
ramble. It's
very
fine.
Frustrating, you know. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a frustrating time. It is. And I'm, you know, I think one thing that has the results of this election have really driven home for me is the importance of doing other things. So like obviously voting is important, and it would have been so much better if, you know, we didn't have the Trump administration.
Yes.
You know, again, but, you know, when it comes down to it, like, there's other things we need to be doing too. You know, direct action stuff, and you know, I'm trying to think of, like, you know, I've mostly spent the last week or so just kind of processing. It hasn't been a full week; it's been like 5 days. But you know, just spent the time just kind of. I think a lot of people have just been doing self-care and just kind of trying to, like, not completely panic, because there's so much to think about, and so much to process, and so much that we could be worrying about, and that we are worrying about, and so it's important to just, like, take a step back. But, like, God, yeah, we could. Well, this is clearly not a politics podcast.
No,
but, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm just feeling, trying to cling on to, you know, what are the things that we can do moving forward, because it's really easy to despair. And I think for the first, like, 48 hours, I felt really bad about it. Yeah. And then I don't know, I remembered that there are good people out there who are still trying to do good things, and this isn't going to stop them, you know, and all I can hope to do is be in that group, you know.
Yes.
So,
do you want to hear a cute story about Marion to cheer you up?
Yeah, always, of course.
So Marion has started calling. So Marion loves cheese, right? She's a cheese girl. That's like,
okay, excellent.
Good. Big fan of cheese sticks. They're one of her favorite snacks, and she always loves having, like, whenever there's something that you can put cheese on, in, like, in a meal, she'll just pick the cheese out and just eat the cheese off the top of whatever it is. That's just her favorite thing. She loves it. For a long time, she called Parmesan cheese just white cheese. Because cheddar cheese was the yellow cheese, or orange cheese.
Reasonable.
Yeah. She started trying to say the word Parmesan lately. You want to know what she said instead of Parmesan?
Tell me.
Pepper John.
Pepper John?
Pepper John cheese.
Pepper John's pizza.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep.
Pepper John cheese.
Yep. Mom said, I like it better. Yeah, Mom said that it's the formal name for Pepper Jack. Which is a real cheese.
Yes. Pepper John, but
it's his
Pepper
name.
Jack with his. Yeah, it's his government name.
His government name.
Yeah. Yes. I know the feeling.
Indeed. I thought you would.
I share that experience.
Indeed. Your first name is also Pepper. Middle name John.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. Thank you to our other sponsor, Pepper John Cheese, for sponsoring
Pepper John
episode.
Cheese.
Delicious.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I feel like I have so many, like, thoughts and feelings about the election. Kind of, I feel like I want to say things, but like, I don't have the, like, my thoughts aren't, like, formed enough, and I'm not, like, I don't know, nothing feels adequate, but I'm just, you know, So I guess with that, let's just move on to other stuff because you know it.
Sure.
What have you been up to, Sam, this week?
To kind of get me through the election and stuff, I binged a lot of episodes of a podcast that you suggested called Some More News. Is that what it's called? Some More News?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. It's like a news and politics podcast, but by comedians, and it's a lot of fun.
It's great. Yeah,
it's so much fun.
I introduced him because I was watching some video. I've been watching a lot of videos by them for the last I don't know, half a year.
Yeah.
It's I watch them on YouTube because they put out videos and then they release those videos in podcast form also, so they're like listenable.
That makes sense because I only do audio. But I'm like, I feel like I'm missing some key components of this. This feels like it should be a video, and I'm just listening to it on a podcast.
Which is what, exactly.
Which is what I'm doing.
Yeah. But it's very much like a like watching like Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, but on a much lower budget, essentially.
Yeah.
And every episode is and there's puppet, and there's and they don't do like individual news stories. Like they don't have like tiny. It's just like each episode is about one topic, you know. So like the main segment that John Oliver does, it's like that. But yeah, it's very good. They do a lot of like, their episodes range from like 30 minutes to an hour and a half long, depending. But they they mostly talk about politics, and it's in a way that's like very like they come at it from a very clearly like a left leaning perspective, and they come at it with facts and humor, which is always a good combo.
Yes, big fan.
So you're enjoying it?
I am. Yeah, it has been. The laughter has been a good release because they also felt similar to how we feel, but they somehow made me laugh at the same time, which is like it was good. Yeah, so listening to that has been really good. There have been other like. I've been like just trying to find as many like comedy podcasts as I can because I walk around for an average of about 10 miles a day delivering the mail for over the course of like 6 to 8 hours a day. And so I have a lot of time just me by myself with earbuds. And so comedy podcasts have been really good. So I've been doing that. A lot of Conan O'Brien podcasts.
Excellent.
His like Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. Listened to Jon Stewart episode this week. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, we love Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart Daily Show is on like their like main monologue is always uploaded in podcast form as well, so I've been listening to that a lot. And what else? Bill Burr's podcast, which is just Bill Burr talking at himself in his car for like 3 hours at a time. So it's as unhinged as it sounds, and it's great.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So listen to that, and then I have also been listening to. I listened to these a while back, but then I found that there were more. They're audio dramas that were put together by Spotify and DC Comics.
I think I've heard about these. Yeah. I haven't I think there's some Marvel ones too. Like there was a Wolverine one or something.
I'm probably gonna listen to that one tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but the best one I've heard so far is called Batman Unburied. I listened to it like a year ago, so I don't really remember a lot of it, but the one I listened to today was like a sequel to that one that I didn't know was out, but it's been out for about a year. It's called, oh gosh, what's it called? It's called the Riddler Secrets in the Dark. And do you know who plays the Riddler in this?
You wrote it in the script, but I don't remember who it was. Tell me.
Hassan Minhaj plays the Riddler.
That's awesome.
That's
great.
So good. Yeah, so like basically the premise is that that the Riddler is in Arkham, and one of his friends from Arkham, Calendar Man, which is great. It's kind of like the who's who of like absurd like Batman villains, but like with like HBO writing and budget kind of level stuff. But basically someone on the outside is killing off Batman villains, like that have basically people that Batman has put into Arkham and have escaped. Somebody's going around and killing them and framing Batman for it.
Oh damn!
And so the Riddler and
good.
Batman team up to catch this guy.
That's cool.
It's so cool.
Who's Batman? Is it somebody I might have known?
Coleman Domingo, is that his name?
I don't think I've heard of that.
Hold on, let me.
What's the name of the thing?
The Riddler: Secrets in the Dark. He's not the. So the actor who plays Batman, I thought it was Willem Dafoe at first because he sounded like Willem Dafoe.
Interesting. Yeah, it says Coleman Domingo on here. Let's see. Yeah,
he's been in stuff that I've recognized, but I don't recognize him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but he was very good. Batman.
He was in Fear the Walking Dead. He was in Lincoln. He was in Selma.
Yeah,
he was in
very
The
good
Color
Batman.
Purple.
Not gonna lie, very good Batman.
Rad.
But yeah, it's just.
He was the voice of Unicron in Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
How did you not know that, Jack? Come on.
I haven't seen that movie because I heard it was not good.
Oh, well, that's not Coleman Domingo's fault. Come on.
That's true. I'm sure he was great.
Mm-hmm. He was Unicron. How could he not be
Unicron
good?
was in. Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, him and Orson Welles, the two voices of Unicron.
What?
I'm sure. Yeah, you didn't know?
No.
Orson Welles' last role was the voice of Unicron in Transformers the movie. 1986 or whenever that was. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, not a great movie, honestly, but it's got Orson Welles as Unicron in it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's amazing. It also has Weird Al's "Dare to Be Stupid" in it.
Oh my gosh, it does. That's what that was. Yes.
Dare to be stupid.
Great song.
Yeah, amazing.
But yeah, so
that's cool.
The Riddler: Secrets in the Dark and all of the Spotify audio series with DC. Mm-hmm. Very good. There's a Joker and Harley Quinn one that I'm probably also going to listen to tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah, because these are they're 9 episodes, and each episode's about 20 to 30 minutes. And so I only worked 6.5 hours today, and I listened to a couple of podcasts on top of listening to this entire story today. So it was
cool.
It was really, really good. And there's sound
nice.
It's not just like a podcast or an audiobook. It's like an audio drama. So there's sound effects and some music, and it's like a full production with a full cast. It's really it's really immersive. Like it a lot.
That's awesome. It a lot. What was the first one called? Batman
Unburied.
What is that one about?
Gosh, what is it about? I listened to it a year ago. I'm trying to remember.
Is he a zombie?
No. But oh gosh, I'm gonna look up the premise for you so I can just tell you.
Cool. Yeah. Have you read The Long Halloween, Sam?
I've not.
It's one of the better Batman graphic novels. I mention it because it has Calendar Man in it, centrally. So.
Yes. So the premise on Wikipedia, or just whatever Google's thrown at me, is a serial killer known as the Harvester terrorizes Gotham City, but Batman is not coming to the rescue. In fact, Bruce Wayne has no memory of being the Caped Crusader at all.
What? Ooh, spooky. Love that.
Yeah. It's very good. I think Winston Duke plays Batman in this one.
Ooh, cool.
And
that's cool.
No offense to Coleman Domingo, Winston Duke was a better Batman. He was such a good Batman. Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to think of what else I've seen Winston Duke in other than the Black Panther movies.
Yeah, he's M'Baku.
Yeah.
He's a vegetarian.
Oh,
at least M'Baku
the more you know, I guess.
No, just his character in Black
okay.
Panther.
Okay.
It was one of the better punchlines in that movie. It was great. Because he was threatening to eat them. He was like, no, just kidding. We're vegetarians. We don't do that.
That's great. That is great.
Yeah, not because he's above killing them, but because he's a vegetarian.
True. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That reminds me, I need to I've been meaning, there's a bunch of DC Comics related things I've been meaning to watch. My Adventures with Superman season 2 came out a while ago.
What's that on? Again, what's streaming?
It's on Max.
Okay. I still gotta get the password from that.
Yeah. And then also on Max, I think I'm 2 seasons behind on Harley Quinn. The Harley Quinn show is really good. Yeah.
I've seen clips of that online. It looks really funny.
It's really, I highly recommend it. Yeah, definitely. It's very good. It's very, very good, good self-aware, funny take on the Batman universe, but also just really well written and
Excellent.
fun, and yeah, it's great. Yeah, so that's cool. Well, that's neat. Anything else you've been up to the last week,
I
Sam?
did watch a Marvel thing, which I haven't done in a while because the MCU has been lame. But Agatha All Along, the like WandaVision spinoff, I watched it. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Not that rewatchable, not that memorable, but the characters were great. Aubrey Plaza was probably my favorite character in the whole thing, other than the guy who played Billy Maximoff. He was great.
Cool.
Yep. But yeah, it was great.
Excellent.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Great little
I'll
popcorn.
probably watch it
It was
mostly
like a little
for-
popcorn show. I don't know. Mom and Dad are watching it right now, because I told Dad about it, and he's like, "Oh, that sounds fun." So they're watching it now.
Yeah, I might watch that one because I've heard pretty good things about it overall.
Yeah.
Generally, like the buzz around it seems to be pretty positive. Plus, Catherine Hahn is great in everything.
Oh, she's awesome.
So
Yeah.
yeah, love Catherine Hahn. She was that campaign manager in Parks and Rec. You remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She ran Paul Rudd's campaign to be whatever. She's running for Congress, or was it for? I don't remember. Anyway,
I don't know. He was running against Leslie Knope and like almost won, but it was like he was
Yes.
like comically bad.
no. I think he did win.
Oh, he did. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was comically bad, and he did win. That was spoilers for Parks and Rec that ended like I don't
decade
know,
ago.
maybe 10 years ago. At this
Yeah.
point. Yeah. Great show though.
It's a great show.
Very rewatchable. Speaking of rewatchable shows, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That's about all I've been doing lately. Other than it's just been work and that.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah. How about you? What have you been up to?
Nothing like. Not a whole like I had a ton of stuff to like catch you up on last week.
You did.
And then this week I just don't have much of anything at all. Like just kind of doing a little bit more of what I already talked about last week. Like I finished playing Shadow Generations. Very good game. I did some more like computery networking things. Like I told you I like hardwired in the computer in my
How's that
living room and
working?
stuff. Good. It's great. I can watch Disney Plus on my PS5 in there now. Because like before, I guess like just the Wi-Fi on my PS5 wasn't good enough or wasn't getting like strong enough of a signal, so it would like buffer a lot and sometimes just not load. But now I've got my PS5 hardwired in, and it's great.
Love that.
That's nice. I also set up a thing on my server PC called Sync Thing, which is a little software tool that you use to just sync files between devices over your network. And I'm using it for syncing save files between different devices, so I can play like when I'm playing through Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga right now. Still,
Classic, love it.
And Final Fantasy VII, and I'm basically I want it to be able to sync my save game between like my little handhelds and also my Steam Deck and also my PC, so I can just continue playing wherever I want.
Nice. Do you usually use like the same emulator with the same save files across all? Is that how you're doing it?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's there's a little bit of like finickiness going. Like I haven't been able to get like I still need to set it up on my Steam Deck because it's like a little more complicated because of the way that emulation works on the Steam Deck and because it's Linux and stuff. But
I see.
but yeah, no, it's cool. It's good. It's one of those things. It's like it's an involved process, so it takes a little while. But like I basically spend a bunch of time like standardizing all of my ROMs and going through like and naming them all correctly and organizing them into like how I want it to be, and so that it's like consistent across every device.
Yes.
Because that's it's basically a lot of setting things up to be consistent, and then you can set it up, and it's pretty easy.
You are so much more patient than me. I feel like
I still have more free time than you do.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, because I feel like I, like you, love it when technology works the way it's supposed to and is working at its like peak efficiency. I just don't have the patience to make that happen. So when it doesn't work, I just get angry and just rage quit a lot of the time.
Yeah. I feel like I would do that more often if I didn't have the time to just like sink into it. But yeah, like there's definitely been some moments of like, why is this? What is happening? Why is this not working?
What is this? What are you doing?
What are you doing? But yeah, so I set that up, and I'm mostly done setting that up, so that's been good.
Cool.
And just lamenting the state of America, and that's about it. Nothing super exciting that I could talk about. Just been another kind of fairly uneventful week, other than the event that happened. Yeah. We do, however, have a bunch of Star Wars related news.
We do,
or just a couple pieces. Yeah,
a couple little tidbits and teasers.
Yeah. So number one, I think there was a D23 convention in Brazil, I want to say, this past week. Disney announced yet another Star Wars trilogy. So, all right,
we're getting 10, 11, 12. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So that's
how numbers work.
Yeah. That's not like confirmed, but like it's going to be a trilogy, and there's a rumor that it's probably going to be 10, 11, and 12, whatever that'll look like. It's from Simon Kinberg, who was a producer and co-creator and writer on Star Wars Rebels. So that's good that he has Star Wars experience on a good thing.
Experience, good.
Yeah,
because I breezed over his Wikipedia page before we hopped on, and I'd missed the Rebels thing. But
yeah, and the rest of it is I'm a little concerned. Just like I don't know. He could be great, but like the one time he has directed a feature-length film, it was X-Men Dark Phoenix, which was I haven't seen it, but it is literally the lowest rated X-Men movie on Rotten Tomatoes, I think. So, it's not great.
But he did do Jumper though. Jumper's a great movie. You ever see Jumper?
I know what it is. I haven't seen it though. Does it have Hayden Christensen in it?
It does. It was the movie that Hayden Christensen did like right after Revenge of the Sith, and it's I don't remember anything about the movie other than it just being kind of fun, and there's a lot of fighting and teleporting, and that's that's the whole movie. Is that like these people
cool?
They can teleport and they're fighting, and Samuel L. Jackson's in it too.
Yeah. Well, so let's see. I'm looking at his Wikipedia page also. So Simon Kinberg,
Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, fantastic film. Fantastic film.
Really? Is it actually really good?
I mean, it's a top tier B movie.
Excellent. I mean, that's the best you could expect for it. Yeah, that's right. What you'd want.
Like, I think if I could think of a absurd historical fiction version of Pacific Rim, it'd be that.
What?
Yeah. So I mean, in terms of campiness and
not in terms of there's an X in it.
No, there's a big train sequence though, which is a lot of fun.
I love a good train sequence.
Yeah. But yeah, it's Abraham Lincoln with a pickaxe fighting vampires.
That's great. That's excellent. That sounds like a good next Halloween season. I'll watch that.
Oh yeah. Kind of thing, it was it came out while I was in college, and I think the year after it came out, we got it on DVD, and we set up a projector in my buddy's dorm room, and there was 12 of us dudes in the dorm room with this on the projector, and it was just popcorn and beers and watching this and just yelling at it. It was so much fun. It's it's like peak movie to watch with the boys.
Excellent.
It's great.
With the boys. Excellent. That sounds great.
Which not exclusive to boys, but just that's the vibes is.
Yeah. With the boys.
With the boys. Yeah. Gender neutral.
The boys.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Going through Simon Kinberg's Wikipedia page, he does have some really good stuff on here. A lot of his experience, he's most well known for doing a ton of stuff with the X-Men franchise. So he was a screenwriter on X-Men The Last Stand. Again, not a very well received X-Men movie, but he also was a writer on X-Men, not X-Men, he was a producer on First Class and a writer on X-Men Days of Future Past, which is a very good movie.
Yeah. I mean, is he directing or is he writing, or both?
I think both.
Okay. Because his writing credits are much better than his directing credits. If I'm being honest.
I mean, he has very little directing credits so far.
But he did do Mr. and Mrs. Smith. He wrote.
I've not seen that one, but I'm aware of it.
That's such a fun movie. Oh my gosh,
I've heard it's good.
It's so much fun.
That's cool. Let's see that he wrote he wrote the 2015 Fantastic Four.
That's great.
But yeah. Anyway. So, but also just, I mean, the fact that he worked on Rebels is very good. Like that's a good sign to me. The fact that they got somebody who already has like Star Wars experience working on a good Star Wars thing to do the next Star Wars thing.
Yeah,
that's cool. However, all of that it comes with a gigantic asterisk of who the heck knows if this is actually going to come out, because Disney has announced so many Star Wars movies in the past like 5 years. So like I have a list of all of the movies that are still supposedly coming out. This doesn't include the ones that have been announced and then canceled. These are ones that are, maybe still happening, but we don't know. So right, the only one that we solidly know is actually coming is The Mandalorian Grogu, which is coming out in 2026. We know it's happening because they shot it. It's there, exists.
Oh, they've already filmed it.
They either have shot it or are shooting it. Yeah,
got it.
It's like it's in production, so it's happening. There's the Rey movie. It's going to be directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy.
That's a fun name.
Yeah, it is. So that's the like follow up to The Rise of Skywalker,
but it's going to be about
episode 10. Rey rebuild, but it's not episode 10, I guess, because that's a separate thing, I guess. Dave Filoni's doing his Mandoverse Star Wars movie. James Mangold is going to be making his Star Wars movie that's like the dawn of the Jedi, like 25,000 years before.
Genuinely very excited about
everything.
That could be so
one,
cool.
I'm excited about that one. Yeah. Ryan Johnson is still supposedly at some point maybe going to be directing his own trilogy of Star Wars movies. So that's another trilogy, but like separate from the main like Skywalker saga. It's
going to be a Star Wars story trilogy kind of thing, like a Rogue One or Solo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Taika Waititi apparently has been signed on for a Star Wars movie at some point, and what
I don't want that.
Who knows?
I don't want that.
Yeah, I'm fine without that. That'd be fine.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He did Thor Ragnarok, and that was amazing. And then like he's just trying to like get the band back together for that in like every franchise he can, and it's not always great.
Yeah, you can tell when something is a Taika Waititi movie, for better or worse. Yeah. Like I kind of get weird.
Like Ragnarok was amazing, and then everything else that like he just tried to like redo Ragnarok in something else. Like Love and Thunder was just like Ragnarok but more, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, I think to be fair, like it's hard making good movies within the studio system, and especially within like the MCU when you're beholden to so many other things. But so like. I mean, he made Jojo Rabbit, which was I
never saw that.
I was kind of mixed on it, but most people loved it. Cool. A lot of people really liked that movie. I thought it was good, but not great. And yeah. Anyway, so Taika Waititi movie, and then the last one is a Sean Levy Star Wars movie, which I'm trying to remember who Sean Levy is. Hold on, let me Google real quick. Sean Levy. He directed Deadpool and Wolverine. And Free Guy.
Perfect.
And Real Steel. Which, by the way, underrated movie, Real Steel.
Which one's Real Steel?
Movie. It's Hugh Jackman is a boxing coach for like robot shadow boxing.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like life-size Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
But like you're controlling a mech.
It's basically Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
It's the Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie. Yes. 100%.
Wonderful. Never saw it. Looked fun.
So that one, it's super underrated. It's great. It's a great like little like fun sci-fi kind of family movie. It's great. I love it. But yeah, Sean Levy, that one makes me excited because that's a kind of I think the most recent announcement other than Simon Kinberg. So that like the fact that it's a more recent announcement makes it feel more like it's likely, you know, a little bit. And also just he has a lot of fun movies under his belt. And so I'd definitely be very interested to see what he does in that universe. So, so that's all the movies that are coming out.
Thinking about the Ryan Johnson one, because I know he did episode 8, and if we had just given him the entire sequel trilogy, it probably would have been a lot better. If we had given J.J. Abrams the entire sequel trilogy, it would have been a lot better. If we had just given one person an entire trilogy,
it would have been so much better. A plan.
Yeah. Maybe that. But I'm thinking with the Ryan Johnson,
if we had Star Wars more than they had concepts of a plan.
They did have concepts of a plan. Yes. If the Ryan Johnson Star Wars trilogy, if we could just get a what's his like Netflix whodunit movies.
Knives Out.
Knives Out.
Onion?
Yeah, if we could get Star Wars Knives Out, that'd be fun.
Just a murder mystery, like a closed room,
starring Hondo.
Like, oh my god, that'd be awesome. See, now I need a Rian Johnson movie that has Hondo in it. That seems like a really good pairing. That's awesome, actually.
Or Lando, or Lando and Hondo,
or both. Lando Hondo, a Star Wars story. Lando X Hondo, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
Oh, I want it. I want it now.
A Lando Hondo buddy cop.
My goodness.
It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect.
I would also love to get like an animated Star Wars miniseries that's a buddy cop thing between like Obi-Wan and Hondo have to team up for an extended mission or something.
Yes.
Like that would be awesome.
Yes.
Because I love their dynamic.
Yes.
It's great. But yeah, so that's we're getting 8,000 Star Wars movies, maybe.
And last but certainly the most.
Not least, it's the most.
Andor Season 2 as an official release date.
Yes.
Andor Season 2.
Very, very exciting.
Yes. So excited.
Yes. So excited. So very, very good, and also glad to have the best piece of popular anti-fascist media back during this time.
Yeah.
God, I saw so many clips from Andor, like speeches from Andor shared online, like the day of and the day after the election.
Yeah. The one that really got to me was I saw someone. It was that I forget what the meme is from, but it's like it's like the person with a younger version of themselves, and they're staring at each other, and the younger version has watching Rogue One in 2016 right after Donald Trump was elected, and then watching Andor Season 2 during the second Trump.
Oh no! Oh, that's so sad.
It is sad, but
it's
also
true and sad.
It's true, but also, ooh. But
Craig,
did Craig just drop
left.
off?
What the fuck?
Craig,
yeah, hold on. Why did? No. Hold on. Okay. Let me hold on. Join.
No. Craig, my beloved.
Bot's currently undergoing maintenance. Please try again later. Well, I guess we don't have a backup for this episode. Thanks.
Craig, my beloved. No.
You've betrayed us. SpongeBob betrayed us.
You have failed me for the last time.
Craig, no. Anyway, yeah. So, man, that's Andor, very exciting. Unfortunate that it is so relevant, but that show is a miracle in a number of ways. Just because of how good it is, but also because there was such a well-made, artfully made, beautiful and very clearly, solidly anti-fascist TV show, made by a major Hollywood studio, made by Disney. And I guess that it only makes sense that if something with that big a budget were able to be made, it makes sense that it would be under the guise of Star Wars, because that's Star Wars is the one thing where it's anti-fascist, but people don't necessarily think about the fact that it's about fascism. So it's there's enough of kind of a cover. For
I love when a lack of media literacy lets big companies get away with things like that. It's awesome. Yeah. It's Exhibit 7005 of conservatives not realizing that things are about them.
Oops. Yeah. People. Yeah. There have been I follow a bunch of Star Wars related accounts on Instagram and Twitter and whatever, and seeing a lot of people being I've got a lot of people in my comments and in my DMs saying what's the big deal about the election? It's not a big deal, and them being have we seen the same Star Wars? Commenters literally being calm down, it's not the Empire, and us being what? Yes, it is. This is how it happened. Natalie Portman said, "This is how democracy dies, with thunderous applause." That line was about this.
Yeah, and that was one of the more subtle things about.
That line was not subtle,
but there were Halle Bertoni.
That's true. I think actually we talked about that, and that was like they said. I think somebody said like, oh no, that's a coincidence, but I feel like that's too.
It's not a coincidence.
Like,
there's no way, right? There's no way. Yeah.
Star Wars is political. It's about fighting fascists.
It's in the name,
and it's about it's war.
Yeah,
war is political. And just like the prequel trilogy. I will say real quick, like I was thinking about this in the context of Star Wars because like A, of course I was, but B, because like I knew that the podcast was coming up, and I was like, how are we going to talk about this? And so for me, like it's interesting and kind of in some ways useful and sort of cathartic and sad but still useful in a way to think about how like the things that happen in Star Wars mirror like the actual way that things work in real life politics. Like in terms of like you look at the prequel trilogy, and that was all about complacency and corruption, and how the Jedi essentially willingly ignored a bunch of red flags and allowed the Emperor to come into power essentially by their own ignorance and by their own and then of course like the fact that Palpatine came into power like democratically, like he was given power in what is ostensibly a democratic republic, and then he changed the galaxy for the worse, and kicked out all the the minorities and the people that he didn't like, and imprisoned people that he disagreed with, and and then we look at the sequel trilogy, and I think this is one thing that like for me is like for all the things you could say about the sequel trilogy, I think this one concept is a really strong one, is the idea that like when the Emperor died, that wasn't going to be the end of it. That wasn't going to be the end of the Empire. It wasn't going to be the end of the dark side or fascism or anything, because like the systems that existed that like allowed Palpatine to come into power still exist, and they never, the New Republic, all the things we've seen about the New Republic in the intervening years on like in The Mandalorian and in Ahsoka and all those shows, like the glimpses we see of the New Republic is definitely of one where it's like there are contingents within the New Republic who are like want things to go back to the way the Empire was. We're seeing the rise of the First Order, and the idea that like it was just another system of bureaucracy that failed its people because they didn't do what was necessary to root out the actual root causes of things that allow people like Palpatine to come into power. Right. And so like I almost was I was thinking almost like the most memed line from The Rise of Skywalker is somehow Palpatine returned, and I'm like, but that happened. Yeah. But like in reality, and we also and we know how it happened because we let it happen. Yeah. Yeah. It's I mean, also cloning, but that's it's
and they fly now.
And they fly now.
They fly now.
They fly now. So yeah, it's I just I hope people can see that and see like learn from our history and learn from our stories, and see that things happen when you don't pay attention and when you don't care.
It's true.
Yeah, so I love that's one of the reasons I love this podcast, is because the more that we talk about it, the more we get out of it. There's so much about Star Wars that's like exciting and cool and beautiful, and because it's it's about war, and it's about politics, and it's about spirituality. There's so many different like ways on which we can come at this franchise to talk about it, and it's just it's cool. It's cool that we can do that, and I'm grateful for the ways that that stories can help us, not just like stories can be escapism, and they can also help us understand our world.
Oh, for sure.
you know, I've really appreciated Star Wars as like, I mean, stories in general, but Star Wars in particular as like a lens for understanding reality and making sense of things, you know. So Star Wars is cool. Sam.
Yep.
I don't know if you knew that.
I had a hunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, should we talk about a very not political episode of Star Wars? By very not, I mean very.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
And this half of the arc has Sam's favorite Star Wars thing, which is a jump scare Hondo.
It does. I love it when Hondo shows up and I'm not expecting him.
Yes, amazing.
My favorite little arms dealer.
My favorite little weirdo pirate arms dealer. Yeah, so as we said, we're talking this week about the Clone Wars Season 5, Episodes 4 and 5, The Soft War, and Tipping Points. And this is the second half of the arc about the rebels on Onderon. Sam, where does this episode take place in the timeline?
Is it 20 BBY? I don't have it pulled up, but I'm assuming.
What the heck's this? It's your one job.
I know. I haven't opened it
It's
yet.
not your one
sorry.
job. You do plenty of things. Yeah. I also didn't have it open, so it takes place in 20. Yeah.
See, told you.
Hey.
I know we don't get to 19 BBY until like season 6, so I felt pretty safe.
Okay. Cool. All right, so yeah, the first episode is called The Soft War. The moral of this episode is struggles often begin and end with truth. An abominable offense. The rebels elect a new leader. With their training complete, Obi-Wan and Anakin have left Ahsoka on Onderon to monitor and advise the rebels as they continue to strike separatist targets under the command of Sela. Wow, I just ran out of breath. Let me start over. I was like halfway through the first sentence, I was like, oh, I should have breathed more. Okay. The rebels elect a new leader. With their training complete, Obi-Wan and Anakin have left Ahsoka on Onderon to monitor and advise the rebels as they continue to strike separatist targets under the command of Saw Gerrera. Facing an escalation of rebel attacks, the separatists have sent reinforcements to straighten their hold?
I think it's supposed to be
strengthened?
Strengthened. Definitely strengthened.
Just to straighten their hold in the city of Isis as the battle for the planet unfolds.
Good job committing. I like it. Reading it straight.
Yeah.
Well done. I also love how you definitely took very long breath breaks in the middle there.
I was like, I need to. I was like,
yep.
I can't. Yeah. All right. The Onderon rebels continue their attacks on the separatist droid forces occupying the capital, but despite their continued successes, they are once again hard pressed to gain the people's trust and support. Sanjay Rash, the separatist puppet king, again accuses his predecessor and prisoner Ramses Dendup of having triggered this terrorist movement, despite Dendup's protestations, and orders his execution the very next day in order to shatter the rebels' morale. At the same time, Ahsoka feels more and more torn between her duties as a Jedi and the orders of the Council and her sympathy for the rebels. But in the end, she feels that she must follow orders and allow the rebel movement to gain strength on its own. When one of the rebels, Dono, brings news of the impending execution, Steela decides to free King Dendup as he is brought to the executioner's block in order to use the publicity of the event to win the people's support. Her brother Saw, however, still disgruntled about not having been chosen as the rebel leader, decides to break out Dendup immediately and sets off to the palace alone. He manages to find his way to the king and profess his movement's loyalty to him. But as he prepares to rescue his ruler, a one-way shield foils his attempt and he is captured. He is subsequently tortured by Kalani so that he should reveal whatever he knows about the rebels, but Saw holds firm, and General Akhenaten Tandin, I think, commander of the Onderon military forces, stalls further torture before Saw is killed off. Later on, the two men have a private talk where Tandin's desire to sit still in order to preserve his people's lives clash with Saw's dedication to his cause and loyalty to his king. When Dono, who was sent by Steela to keep a watch on Saw, returns with the news that Saw has been captured, Lux and the other rebels prepare to mount a rescue. But Steela and Ahsoka hold them, pointing out that rescuing Dendup is paramount. The next morning, Steela, Lux, Ahsoka, and a small troop of rebels go to the palace square, where Dendup's execution is about to begin along with Saw's. They manage to halt the execution, but before they can escape, a squad of super battle droids and destroyers appear and surround them, killing Dono in the process. Under the order of Dendup, the rebels lay down their arms and are forced to watch as Rash attempts to repeat the execution. But then an unexpected ally makes his move, Tandin. Disgusted by the separatist by the Separatists and Rash's takeover of his homeworld, and stirred by Saw's arguments, leads a squad of his soldiers, freeing Ganda and the rebels, and allowing them to escape by taking Rash as a temporary hostage. Before he can be killed by the droids, Ahsoka, abandoning her orders to remain inactive, steps in and uses telekinesis to knock the droids over. When Rash orders the droids to go after them as they escape, the outraged spectators in the palace square rise against them, stemming themselves against the droid squad and thus allowing Ahsoka and Tandon to escape. Later, in the rebels' hideout, both the rebels and the Onderon army, represented by Tandon, pledge their loyalty to their rightful king, and with renewed confidence, a grateful Ganda decides that winning their people's trust is the best way to counter a retaliatory strike by Count Dooku for his liberation, making his loyalists, including a reconciled Saw, cheer. Later on, as Ahsoka reports to Obi-Wan and her master, she reveals that the involvement of the Jedi in the rebellion has now become public knowledge, and thus the Jedi are forced to decide whether they should now openly take sides in the impending battle. End of the episode. So, lots of rebelling.
Yeah.
And this is one of those episodes that feels like this could be the end of the arc if they wanted to.
Yeah.
It ends nicely.
It does.
Yeah. But I like the fact that Dendup is like genuinely a good guy and doesn't end up I don't know. I feel like there are characters like this that we might see, and then it turns out like, oh, he was also corrupt the whole time.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen, which is cool. He's just a good guy. He's just a good, cool leader.
Indeed.
Which is great. I also like his design. I like his big pointy beard.
Yeah.
It's nice.
There's some we get some really detailed faces in these episodes. I don't know, the animation on the faces it's less cartoony and more just
Yeah, no, I also noticed that. I think especially in episode 2, watching when we get some scenes of Anakin and Obi-Wan, seeing them up close, and the way that I guess the fact that I'm used to seeing them before, and so I have a point of comparison, and yeah, the facial animation in particular has gotten really good this season. Mm-hmm. It looks great. It looks in general, I mean, it gets a little bit better every season, all the animation, all the visual quality of this, but it looks great. It's awesome. Yep. I feel definitely the facial animations is one of the places where it's been weaker, which I mean, facial animation is hard, so it makes sense. But
I was also saying, I agree with what you're saying, but I was thinking more specifically some of the characters on Onderon that we see, the usurper king, whatever it is, Rash, and the general who the Onderonian military leader. They have just very detailed faces. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just
they look more distinct than I feel like a lot of non-main characters end up looking kind of generic. But all of these have very distinct faces and distinct personalities. You look at the general and he's got a very particular eye color that's very striking, and you get it's Saw, and his face is very detailed and has he's got scars too. And he's got and Steela they all look great. Agreed. Yep. Definitely. One thing that I thought was funny is that just a small thing is when they put out those little holo projector discs to put out their kind of not propaganda, but put out their messages Steela or the True King or whatever.
Side.
Yeah, but it's good. I don't know.
Propaganda isn't necessarily bad.
Isn't it? I don't know. I guess
it's just political advertising. It's just trying to convince somebody to come to your side,
Yeah, but I feel I don't know.
Oftentimes it's associated with trying to gloss over things that are bad, but there is good propaganda. If it's for a good for a genuinely good cause, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it just I guess I'm so used to hearing propaganda as a term used to refer to negative, political movements or but I guess that makes sense. Yeah. I guess I just thought of propaganda as being trying to convince somebody to a side without using actual logic and just kind of using a I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily. I don't know.
Maybe it's just me.
I see what you're saying.
Into it.
I hear where you're coming
Yeah.
from, but I'm like, I don't know if that's
Did you know? I just googled propaganda, and it gave the first actual definition, but then below that it gave a second definition of propaganda, which is a committee of cardinals of the Roman Catholic Church responsible for foreign missions, founded in 1622 by Pope Gregory the 15th. A propaganda?
Oh.
So, interesting.
It's also to take a really nice look at something.
I mean, propaganda.
Take a propaganda at these things.
give it a propaganda. All right, let's move on to the next episode. Sam, do you want to give us the moral of the next episode?
Yeah, so this one also takes place in 20 BBY. It's called Tipping Points, and its moral is disobedience is a demand for change.
True.
And impenetrable defense. War in the Inner Rim. Rebel leader Saw Gerrera has joined forces with General Tandon after boldly rescuing Onderon's former king from execution, evading a trap set by separatist ally King Rash and the droid General Kalani. Amid growing public support and rising unrest, Ahsoka continues to monitor the rebels' efforts as they rally around Ramses Stendup to restore his reign as the rightful king and finally put an end to the separatist occupation of Onderon. To prepare for the upcoming battle, Ahsoka Tano and Lux Spontaries sneak into the capital city, where Ahsoka deposits a holographic communicator in the midst of a market square. Through the device, former King Ramses Stendup addresses his people personally, telling them about Sanjay Rush and the separatist lies about him being the instigator of the terrorist movement to solidify their hold on Onderon, convincing them that the rebels are true patriots striving to liberate them all. The speech has the effect of stirring the people's resentments against the droid occupation forces, much to the misfortune of 3 unlucky battle droids who happened to witness the speech. This was very funny. I love slapstick battle droid stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're just in a random market, in your typical market in a cartoon where there's just carts of large fruit and things.
Fruit stand, yeah.
Just random fruit stands.
Always the fruit stand.
Yep. And one guy literally picks up this big spiky looking watermelon thing and just slams it on a battle droid's head. And he's just got his head stuck in a watermelon, and it's funny. And then he winds up shooting the other 2 battle droids.
Yes, it's great. And then he shoots a sort of elephant looking thing that tramples one of
big
them.
Old dinosaur. Something. Yeah. Droid slapstick.
Some sort of Star Wars animal. Yes.
Yep. Doing a Star War. All right. And this event quickly sparks a movement among the citizens of ISIS, who all revolt against Rash's regime. In order to salvage what's left of their power, Kalani suggests to take out the rebels and end up in one stroke, thus dealing the rebellion a mortal blow, and sends out a squadron of 4 droid gunships and a large droid force to the rebels' hideout. Which I just want to say, the droid gunships, I don't know, I've always seen them, they're kind of these little flying saucer looking things with what looks like a cockpit kind of hanging down below, and I've never really thought of them as droids. I mean, they are droids, but it's just those are ships, not droids. But then the droid commander talks to a couple of the droid gunships, and it kind of nods and then flies off. I was like, oh, right, those are droids. They're not just ships.
Yeah.
It was.
I wish they were on our side because they seemed like cool guys, but no, they're shooting people.
Yeah. Seems pretty chill and nice. No.
I want somebody to get one of those and hack it and have it be just a big puppy.
Yeah. Yeah, Anakin's got R2-D2. This guy has a droid gunship.
Yeah. His name's Billy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oops.
He's my best friend. He's got artillery cannons.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Ahsoka and Lux return to the new rebel camp in the Onderon Highlands, where they have long since been joined by General Agatha Tandon. General Tandon.
Yeah, see, it's hard, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. And the loyal factions of the Onderon military forces. While debating about a decisive strike against the occupation forces, Steele successfully overrules her brother Saw's rash proposal to attack them in ISIS itself, instead proposing to draw them out in the Highlands to lessen the endangerment to the civilians. Impressed by Steele's dedication and cautiousness, Dendup entrusts Steele with command of both forces for the battle, appointing her general on the spot. Before they leave the base to implement their plan, Steela wastes no time planting a firm kiss on Lux just in case. That's not foreshadowing at all.
every time there was like oh man, you're such a great leader, Steela. I learned it from you, little sis, or like, and Lux, I love you, and like so many little moments of like, wow, aren't things going great for Steela? Isn't Steela so great? I'm like, this is foreshadowing.
This is foreshadowing. Oh no, her character arc is wrapping up. Crap, she's gonna die. shit. No. Plot armor, please. Darn.
No. Yeah.
When the droid host arrives, I think it's called a host of droids. It's very menacing. Very alien invasion-y. The Onderon rebels and military forces await them. Initially, they are able to inflict heavy losses on the ground and armor forces, but then the gunships attack, and their heavy armament and ray shields force the rebels into retreat. Ahsoka contacts Obi-Wan and Anakin and informs them of the dramatic change of events, but Obi-Wan still expresses reluctance to let the Republic openly intervene on behalf of the Onderonians. Angry about this decision, Anakin finally hits upon another idea: informally send a third party to Onderon to aid the rebels in their plight. And the first choice he can think of is none other than the pirate Hondo Naka!
Yes!
There he is! I was like, what? This is a Hondo episode? Let's go!
I didn't remember that. And as soon as he was like, it doesn't have to be us. And he's like, and Obi-Wan's like, well, who else would we send? And Anakin like walks and thinks for a second. I'm like, is he gonna say Hondo? And he turns around, he says Hondo. I was immediately like, yes, Sam's gonna love this.
I did. I very much did. The only disappointing thing is that Anakin went to Hondo instead of Obi-Wan.
Yeah, it would have been fun.
So much more sass and quips. But instead, Anakin's like, business. And Hondo's like, money. And then it happened. That's, yeah. So, therefore, Anakin travels to Onaka's base on Florum in order to hire him for an illegal delivery of heavy weapons to the rebels. And after much ironic but good-natured banter, Onaka agrees to the deal and delivers a pack of shoulder-fired rocket launchers to the rebels before making a discreet retreat when a group of commando droids makes its appearance in the rebel camp. After finishing the droids, Steela, Ahsoka, and Lux take up the launchers and deliver a few of them to their compatriots, whereupon Saw uses one to take down one of the gunships to the rebels' jubilation. Immediately thereafter, however, Steela is informed that a droid gunship and 2 BX commandos are attacking the hideout in order to get to Ganda. Steela, Ahsoka, and Lux arrive just in time to save the king from the droids. On the nearby battlefield, Saw shoots down the last of the enemy gunships, but the damaged unit careens out of control right into the rebel camp. Steela is trapped on a collapsing rock on the edge of a cliffside, broken loose by the droid's impact, and while trying to jump to safety, she is caught hanging from the cliff. Lux rushes to save her, but nearly falls off himself. Ahsoka uses the Force to float him to safety, but as she tries to do the same for Steela, the not yet fully disabled gunship wounds her with the laser blast, causing Ahsoka inadvertently to drop Steela to her death. In the arms of an angel. There it is. While the rebels grieve over the loss of their brave leader, Steela's life was not lost in vain, however. With the rebellion growing beyond any hope of containment, Count Dooku decides to evacuate the remnants of his forces from Onderon, and Arash is summarily executed by Kaylani, failing the Sith Lord and the Separatists for the last time. Later,
you failed me for the last time.
Later, on the steps of the royal palace, Steela is given a public memorial in full honor of her struggle for freedom. Lux reveals to Ahsoka that Dendub, reinstated as Onderon's king, has appointed him as the official senator of Onderon, and that he finally intends to lead its people back to the Republic. End of the arc.
Yay! It's funny to me that, like, you know, he's like, I've decided that the Republic is the side that we should go to. And it's like, you know what? You might be right now, but, you know, you're kind of screwed either way, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a sad moment.
Give it 18 months. We'll see what happens.
Oh, no. Is it really that close? Like time-wise?
It takes place in 19 BBY.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's next year.
Wow. Dang. Man. Yep. Well,
oops.
It'll be great for the 3 months that you're in the Republic or whatever.
Hey.
Before it becomes an empire.
Womp womp.
Thunderous applause. Well, that was a good episode.
Yep.
Yeah, the whole, like, I gotta say the Steela death scene was, I think it's done really well, because like I think the fact that Ahsoka is there, they had to like figure out a way to do this narratively where it would like make sense that like they couldn't just be like, oh yeah, Ahsoka was somewhere else, so they could, she couldn't be saved,
right?
So they had to have her there, but then like they needed to nerf her somehow so that like she wasn't able to like just force lift her, and they did that by shooting her with a cannon, which makes sense. Like that's like you have the only way to like take a Jedi like Ahsoka down and out for the count so she drops a person would be to like shoot her with a powerful cannon. Yeah,
with a gun.
Yeah, so yeah, just sad moment, but like very well paced and like powerfully done. And the fact that like I forgot that it was it's kind of Saw's fault, like indirectly, because he's the one who shoots down the airship that then crashes into her position and like knocks the cliff down, right? Essentially,
but, yeah, and he does beat himself up about it a lot because he's Saw Gerrera is the most. He's maybe more dramatic than Anakin Skywalker. He might be the most dramatic person in the galaxy.
Yeah, but
like literally, there's no way he could have known.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's not like a. Like the only possible thing you could be like where like saying that it's maybe somehow his fault, which it's not really, is to be like he should have been more aware of his surroundings and like not been so rash to like want to quickly like blow something up instead of taking more time to like think through his actions a little bit.
Which also, if there's a character more rash than Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars,
exactly. Wow. Yeah. Amazing. And like this is a super important episode in terms of his character arc because it's because his sister dies. And,
it's very formative. And it comes back later.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. He does mention Steela later on. Yeah.
I think in the Bad Batch, right? In one of the first episodes of the Bad Batch, when we see because they team up with Saw at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because he's teaming up with somebody because Saw has somebody else there, and like when we started this arc, I didn't remember that Steela died at the end of the arc, and I was like, oh yeah, because Saw and Steela are in Bad Batch, right? But I think it's just Saw and one other one of his teammates.
No,
not Steela.
In the arms of the angel.
Sad. Jack, did you have a favorite part of this whole arc?
This whole dang arc. I mean,
or at least the last two episodes. Because it's been a week since we watched the other ones.
True. I feel like. I mean, honestly, the moment when Anakin turns around and says Hondo.
Yes.
Like, oh,
excellent choice.
We're gonna go. It's an exciting moment.
Good. Yes.
Yeah. That and I don't know. Like again, the like Steela's death scene is done really well.
It is,
I think, and like, and speaking of like facial animations, we like see in Lux's face like the horror, like in like it's one of the most like emotional faces we've seen in Clone Wars, kind of.
Yeah.
It struck me.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Sam?
I mean, obviously, other than Jumpscare Hondo, which is the best thing in all of Star Wars, is Jumpscare Hondo. Oh gosh. I don't know, the final. No, here's what it is. It's when the general comes in out of nowhere in the end of the third episode.
Ooh, yes.
And like saves the day, and then Ahsoka saves the day.
Stop right there. Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent. That's I always love a bad guy defecting to the good side moment.
Oh yeah.
Always great.
Oh yeah.
So excellent. Okay. MVP. I mean,
Steela.
Yeah, it's got to be Steela
for sure.
She dies for the cause and is a good leader, and yeah, and everybody's talking about how great she is right up until the moment she dies.
Yep.
Because that's how it works in narrative.
The Star Wars. No.
In the Star Wars. Main character kills.
No,
I mean it's all droids. So yeah. Lost limbs, none. Wilhelm screams. I didn't hear any. Nope. More Star Wars is better. Star Wars. How does this episode? There
should have been Wilhelm screaming and Steela fell. That would have
been when she falls in slow motion to her death. But like a slow motion Wilhelm scream.
But they didn't do any like editing to like like smooth out the audio, so just like a very like just a very garbled like Wilhelm scream.
Yeah. Amazing, man. Somebody's got to. There must be like a supercut somewhere on YouTube of like all the times the characters die in the Clone Wars, but with the Wilhelm scream. Like, or, you know,
that
if not,
that would do numbers.
Somebody should do that. It would do numbers. There's like I've seen those, but with the Lego Yoda death sound. Have you seen that?
No.
Meme? There's a meme with like just the sound that Lego Yoda makes in Lego Star Wars whenever he dies. It's just like a like, it's funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. How does this episode make the rest of Star Wars better?
Well, it's more Star Wars, so that's better Star Wars. True.
And we talked some about like establishing more about this is a formative time for
Saw.
For Saw, yeah, with losing Steela. It's also it's important on Lux's journey because he becomes a senator.
Yep.
And it's also important for Ahsoka. Like Obi-Wan and Anakin like note like at Steela's funeral. They're like, this is gonna be something like this was a rough mission or a rough assignment for Ahsoka or something like that. Like noting the fact that like this was a tough experience that she's definitely going to learn from.
Oh, for sure.
You know, so it's gonna stick with her. And another occasion of just like Ahsoka getting to see kind of firsthand the ravages of war, and you know, maybe coming closer to understanding like. Yeah, making her closer to her decision to eventually leave the Jedi. Yeah, I assume this is another moment that weighs heavily on her.
Yeah, because the Jedi just dragged their feet, and didn't send in help and hemmed and hawed when people were dying.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. One other way that this makes Star Wars better is more Hondo.
More Hondo.
More Hondo is better.
Course. Hondo is honorary MVP.
Yes.
He did come in and save the day in a way.
Yeah.
So thanks, Hondo.
Indeed.
You're our favorite. You're our favorite scumbag.
Hey. It's not that scummy.
But he's all bag. Well, that was a fun arc. It was good. I liked getting to see Onderon because it's such like a visually distinct planet. We got to see some cool animals. We got to see some like sort of lizard horses looking things, and then some like pterodactyls that kind of had like giraffe heads almost. And yeah, lots of cool creatures on Onderon.
Oh yeah,
that was neat. There's always got to be some sort of big elephant type thing.
For sure.
So that merchants can transport their things and whatever. Yeah. Can't have a village or a big bustling city without some sort of elephant-like creature.
Indeed.
To pull something. So. Yeah. Fun arc.
Indeed.
Other than, Steela dying.
Yeah. Hey, what's next? What are we doing next?
Well, that's a good question. So, in the next episode, you will either hear us for our holiday special, for which I don't know what we're going to be talking about yet, because we haven't decided.
Probably the holiday special again, right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
or
anything else.
Literally anything else. Or we'll be talking about the next arc of the Clone Wars, which chronologically will be the Clone Wars Season 5, Episodes 6 through 9, which is The Gathering, A Test of Strength, Bound for Rescue, and A Necessary Bond, which is about like the younglings.
Oh, is this the youngling
Jedi? I think so. Yeah,
it's Huyang.
I think this is Huyang. Mm-hmm. And they're hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we will have another guest on this arc.
Oh boy, no spoilers.
Who could it be? This animal who I did see.
Can you help me guess?
This is mystery. Yeah, so good times, fun times. Have a good holiday season, because by the time this comes out, it's probably going to be around Christmas almost. So
it's mid-November right now.
You well.
So that tracks.
Yeah, hope your holidays treating you well. Hope you're all taking care of yourselves. Remember your self-care. Drink water. Do spice.
Spice.
Delicious. And may the force be with you all. Goodbye.
All right, cut the chatter.
God damn it, Craig.
Roger, Roger.